What can I do when I'm stuck inside you? This cell of ice and fire, what blood red dead, lost in desire, smell of life.
What's up? What's up? What's up? And we are live and 2-3 minutes late, something like that. Started yakking before the show. We weren't on live. We're just sitting here bullshitting. But
see, 2 or 3 minutes late isn't that big of a deal from my experience. When somebody starts to become 2 or 3 days late is when wait, wrong subject.
yeah, that's when it could be a problem. 2 or 3 days late, yeah, that could be a problem. Definitely. So what's up? Tonight we are celebrating Friday the 13th. We already got 4 people on. Wow. It's like maybe we got to start 2 minutes late every week, and then we'll build a better audience. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, starting late is much better than finishing early. Again, wrong
She
subject.
said, that's what she said, yes. Oh, Christ, Jesus Christ.
Boy, I'm on one tonight already, aren't I?
So tonight, we are celebrating Friday the 13th on Thursday the 12th, because why not? Why not? We couldn't think of a subject to do, so we can always talk Friday the 13th, because you and I I'm gonna go out and say it. We're experts on the subject.
Yeah,
I think we are. Speaking of Friday the 13th, I got my fancy new Friday the 13th shirt.
Love it.
It's pretty sweet, pretty sweet. And then I have to wear it over a hoodie, though, because my basement is fucking freezing. It's not a hoodie. Looks like a hoodie. It's not a hoodie. Would be cooler if it was.
A t-shirt over a hoodie.
Yeah, it also would be 3 times as much if it was a hoodie.
Yeah, of course. Is there anything on the back?
I don't know. Let's find out. I don't think so.
Nope.
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 All right. All right. So
see, he didn't know if there was anything on the back, which means it could have been on backwards the whole time then.
Could have been. Who knows?
Hey, the computer don't lie.
No, it doesn't. See, you are on a roll tonight. Look at that. Let's ask the computer. It says you're a dead fuck.
Oh, Lawrence.
So, we got ourselves a new graphic below. What do you call it? This is a overlay. That's
overlay.
Technical
right.
names for these things. Charles Sherrod from the Dive Podcast, who after the show will be watching Rocky IV tonight, and that's going to be interesting because that's just his type of movie, and it'll just be fun. So that's after the show tonight on the Rumble Podcast. But he put this together for me. I said, I want something sort of like what you got. Just throw my logo in there. Throw our sponsor's logo over there. Right there. CSR Collectibles. Promo code Enchiladas. They have a big Friday the 13th sale starting tomorrow. I do not know what's going on with it, but I know it's going to be awesome. But we have a QR code, so you can just hold your phone up to your TV if you're watching us on the TV and scan that, and then it'll take you right to CSR Collectibles website. And but yeah, when he sent it to me, it was all black, and when you put it up, you couldn't see us. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, so I got the Chat GPT gimmick on my cell phone, and I did the AI thing, and I said, hey, I got this picture. Can you make it transparent all except for the icons? And they did, and here we are. So I halfway figured that out myself, so that was pretty cool. I was impressed.
That is impressive. If you knew Rick, you'd be impressed by that.
Yeah. So and then I even got for a Christmas special. I'm working on this. This isn't done because I wanted a little different, but the Chat GPT is not feeling me when I'm telling it what to do here. It's like, so we got that. We got Christmas lights. See, it started with these ones.
Wow.
I wanted them bigger, but I don't want them. I want it to look like somebody just threw Christmas lights on the frame. You know what I mean? Where
well,
it's like,
if we're finishing early, we better come bigger. So
that's true. This is true. Oh, that's
whoa! There we go. Now I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm very familiar with the term overlay because we're sports people too, and they have that score bug they call it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Overlay, but it's at the bottom. Wouldn't it be an underlay?
I don't know. I think it's because it goes over the whole screen, but I don't know.
Oh, wow.
And then I want something in both of the top corners too. I was trying to get it to throw a cartoony looking chainsaw on one side and it just wasn't doing it the way I wanted it. So I will work with Charles and ChatGPT and get something cooler going. But this is pretty cool. I like this.
I see. I got a Friday the 13th Part 7 blank mask under me. Is that mean I have to like paint a Part 7 mask soon and start planting seeds?
Painting masks. Speaking of painting masks, we have you got ready? No, that's not the mask for us.
Oh, this is a Tom Morgan.
Tom Morgan mask. No, that's not the giveaway mask. That's
this is mine.
But anywho,
yours will be just like this, whatever he's talking about, except that won't be on there.
No, it won't be on there.
This time, maybe in the future.
You might be able to get one yourself. There's a lot of cons, but so
not this exact one though, because
not that exact one. So we finally hit 666 follows. We're a little bit north of that now. And because we hit 666, we're going to be giving away one of these hockey masks, a Part 5 hockey mask. The way we're going to do that is watch the page. I think we're going to put anybody that wants to be in it, just like a comment or something, we'll make a post about it. Everybody that likes it, and then we'll give it away maybe on our year-end show or year-end review show. Maybe we'll discuss it then. So just keep an eye out on the page for that.
We can draw that in a couple weeks on the Christmas thing. It'll be somebody's Christmas gift.
Christmas is next week. So not Christmas isn't next week, but our Christmas show is next week. Because the show after that would be a day after Christmas. And I wanted to do the Christmas show the day before, before Christmas was over.
Is today the 11th?
Today's the 11th.
So Christmas is like exactly 2 weeks from today.
Yes. 2 weeks from 2 weeks from today. Yeah.
Today.
2 weeks from today. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. So, yeah. So joining us momentarily will be Jason Voorhees from Victim No More and the upcoming Loose Ends film. And I got a little bit of inside information on Loose Ends that I cannot talk about, that I'll tell you about later. Well, I can't. I was sworn to secrecy. I can't blow it. If James during questioning gives it up, that's on him.
Again, though, if
Bobby could be pissed at him if he gives it up.
If it's a spoiler, though, I don't want to know.
It's a casting spoiler. It's nothing.
Oh, that'd be fine. That's fine.
And
I don't want to know anything about the story though, because like George Costanza's dad in Seinfeld, I like to go in fresh.
Well, yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, so he's going to be on momentarily. I told him to come on about 7:15 because I wanted to get out all of this extra stuff that we're talking about now before he comes on. But Rebecca,
that Part 5 mask for the giveaway though, I'm happy to say is already complete.
Okay, good. So we're ready to go with that.
I painted it about 4 days ago.
I know what else I wanted to talk about before
because we got a little pocket there of a few days with good weather, and I took advantage.
Cool.
But, so if I hadn't painted it yet, if you were any familiar with the weather in Cleveland, wouldn't be able to do it now.
Yeah. So we have Bobby Heckman, as I was saying, he's the director of Loose Ends and the director of Victim No More, and they have a fundraiser. Is it Indiegogo? I'll ask James for sure when he comes on. They have a fundraiser, and if you donate $5 minimum to his fundraiser, I will enter you into the same contest that I'm doing for Eddie Langille's film. If you donate $5 to either one of those films, you'll be entered to win an autographed Kane Hodder item, which is a pretty sweet thing. And why is this thing dinging?
That's loud too.
Yeah, I know. Nevertheless, I thought I turned my silent off, but yeah.
Eddie's working on another one.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. I'm in the film.
Oh.
I'm in the movie. I'm officially in the movie. I get killed in the movie. So that's awesome. Trying to make that happen. We're going to work on the decapitated head. Maybe I get my head cut off. That'd be fucking sweet. I'm game. And I'll pay extra to be able to keep said head.
Yeah, then you can get a severed head from that was screen used, and it would be you.
What would be better than that? The only thing better than that would be Betsy Palmer's head.
Well, that's better than anything.
Right, that's the head.
No.
I mean, either one of them, one or two. If you could have one or the other, which one would you have? one from part 1 or the part 1 from part 2?
Probably the one from 2 because it's so prominent and shown on the screen more.
Right on.
And it's the last thing you see at the end too.
And if you see a close-up of the part 1 head, it doesn't, I mean, it looks great in the movie, but it doesn't look as much like her.
Now, I will say, though, both heads theoretically existed and were kept in storage by the same person, and they put them up for auction. I believe the part 1 head would sell for more, would be more valuable, but the part 2 head I think is cooler.
I do believe it has sold for 6 figures.
I don't
remember the number, but it's 6 figures. I do know that.
I don't doubt it.
Part 2, I don't remember. But
I wonder who the hell has those. Rick's now my favorite.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. So Eddie Langle's film is called The Yule Log. There's a link on our page for that, and there'll be a link for Bobby's movie Loose Ends on there as well. And if you donate $5 minimum to either or of the films, you'll be entered into a contest to win an autographed Kane Hodder item of my choice that's laying around my house.
So has Eddie moved on from trying to distribute Melonheads altogether and is just working on this new thing now?
No, he's doing both.
Okay.
He got a deal to distribute Melonheads. Rob Dowell says, guess who's in the house? And I'm going to go with the award-winning St. John's, Michigan. Jason is in the house. That's probably who's in the house there.
I got 2 hands up, but I still don't have enough fingers to count
all the awards.
Count all the awards. And if big time Brian Emmenizer were in here too, oh my God, I'd run out of toes. I'd run out of toes too.
That's it. We need a trophy room. But yeah, I got I don't know what I got that signed mask. I got a signed 16 by 20 photo thing. I got a graded certified card right about there. I got like 5 or 6 Kane Hodder autographs, and I'm willing to give up 2 of them for this cause. So make it worth my while and donate lots of money to these movies. Does every horror nerd have a stack of Kane Hodder signatures? I have a bunch just thrown in my closet at this. Yeah, I know. I just accumulated them. I only purchased. No, I purchased more than one because I got the personalized one where the picture of me and Ricky on the wall there.
I only have a 8x10 of him, man. I don't have a hock of him. I need to go get one.
Right on.
But it's got to. I'm weird though. It's got to be Zig. It's got to be
houses. What's up, fools?
It's got to be. It's got to be a mask I made, or it doesn't count.
Oh, I absolutely. Since you make masks, and that's what you do.
And then you got a 7 down there underneath me, so I guess it's got to be that.
Yeah.
Or pre Uber X. I like that mask.
And with the actual Uber mask, it might be difficult.
Yeah. Plus, I don't think I could make one of those anyway.
I think it would. I mean, you can get them 3D printed from somebody, but the ink wouldn't stick. I don't think.
No, I need a Jason X pre Uber, like beginning of the movie, like killed David Cronenberg like mask.
Right on.
Because I like that one. I think that's one of the most underappreciated masks.
He says Tiki says he has 3 signed tapes, 2 masks, and like 5 8x10. Yeah, like I said, I've accumulated a bunch of them, and one of them is going to be given away to a random donator of Loose Ends. And speaking of Loose Ends, what just joined the green room here is James Taffurelli, who I'm going to bring on. He's Jason Voorhees from the movie, but for some reason my mouse is sucking. There we go. Bam! How's it going, man?
How you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Hello, man.
Got the dogs giving you applause at Ryan's house?
I guess someone's home.
How's it going, man? All right.
Pretty good. I mean, I'm surprised my dog didn't start barking the second you guys brought me in here because she's hanging out by the window looking at something right now, so she might join in.
I'm surprised your dog didn't growl as soon as it saw Rick's face on it.
Right on. So, so James Taffurelli's Jason Voorhees and Victim No More. If you guys haven't seen that, you can watch that on YouTube currently right now, anytime. We did a watch along on the show of it a while ago. We had Bobby come on and we did a watch along with it. It was about a month ago. And Bobby was our first guest ever on the show.
Oh, wow.
Yes, which was awesome. We had no idea what we were doing, and we still don't, but it looks a little better now. It looks like we know what we're doing. We don't.
So you guys went with Heckman, huh?
Yeah.
No, okay, I'm joking.
Yeah, that was what, like a year and a half ago or so, right?
Oh, yeah, almost 2.
Yeah.
I think. It's still
And
pinned
Bobby
on the top of the page because I pinned it at the top of the page and never unpinned it. So
The famous episode where Michael Myers died.
Michael Myers died a painful death. He had a Michael Myers collectible, and his cat decided, "Fuck that, Michael Myers."
Yeah.
Wasn't it like way up on his refrigerator or something?
Yeah, his cat
Yeah.
Rex. His
cat jumped up there and knocked it over, and it just destroyed it. And Bobby was like, "I've had that thing for like 25 years."
Not anymore.
Yeah, no, I think he only had that cat for like 15 minutes too. Like I think he had just adopted the cat.
Oh,
so
man.
he was.
I thought you were saying it was 15 minutes and he was done. From Michael Myers.
No.
So you really like that Michael Myers statue?
Kitty no more.
I mean, I have my guy right here. He's gonna yell at me. This is Julius.
Oh, that looks like Zahn.
Yeah, I got an orange cat too, man. Yeah, love him.
Cats are awesome.
But he's actually currently in the process of trying to pull the phone over. Come on, get out of here, buddy. Get out. Go on. Go do something else. All right, there we go.
No, orange cats are the best.
Oh yeah, no, he's a little nightmare. I love him. Had him 13 years actually.
Oh
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
awesome.
I've had mine for 12, almost, almost the same. 13 years, good number.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, since today is our Friday the 13th, Thursday the 12th special, that's pretty cool. So, James, how did you get into movie making? Like, what made you want to do that with your life?
Oh, that's a very long and strange story. I don't know. I mean, I was a lifelong horror fan. That much was from when I was a kid. I think it started with Godzilla. It was like my gateway drug, and then I'm like, well, I like other monsters. And then, I mean, we're talking like the mid to late 80s. So like Freddy Krueger was God, and I went to a Catholic school, and there were these two guys, there's Jose and Devin, and they were both like would sneak Fangorias into class, and we'd hide them from the nuns, and like kind of read them in the corner and stuff. And I just like I don't know, I had a younger brother, so my dad was like trepidatious, but I kept leaning on him. And then we had a video store at the end of the block, and like eventually he'd be like, all right, well, your brother's not allowed to be in the room because he's going to get nightmares and I don't want to deal with him. And just fast forward through the boobies and you could watch it, so so that were my rules. So I mean, but then you fast forward a little while later, and I guess I was in high school, and I had gotten really into like martial arts, and had never really developed the killer instinct that I think that it takes to fight competitively. I was a good fighter and I knew what I was doing, but I think I liked the process more than the actual fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And around the same time, I had a crush on like the girl who was like I guess like the alpha drama kid. So I had started following her into auditions and ended up doing a couple plays in high school, and didn't think much of it. Then I got out of high school, and a couple of years went by. I did a few plays, and then a friend of mine's dad was really trying to make it as an actor, and I was very close with the family. I was like kind of like their Urkel, there was like a tight knit family, and I was like the weird one who would show up and like say swear words at the dinner table and stuff, and just sort of like a family mascot with them. So he took me along. This was like in the early 2000s at this point. He took me along to an open call, because it was like now you just like you get an app on your phone, you submit your picture, and they let you know if you want to be in it. But then you had to like, I live on Long Island. It's about maybe 45-50 minute train ride into the city from where I was. You'd have to go into the city, wait online for a few hours, go talk to a casting agent, give them a picture, and they would say, all right, yeah, show up at this day at this time, and you make $12 an hour. Or whatever, and you just stand in the background of a movie. So like I wanted to do it just for fun, and he was doing a lot of that stuff. And I ended up in a movie called Bad Company, which was Chris Rock and Anthony Hopkins in it. It was like a Joel Schumacher movie. And while I was there, I actually got pulled up like from like extra work, and they're like, because I was like a bigger guy and stuff, and like they're kind of like what shirt size you were, what pant size, and then they ended up like putting me in a SWAT team uniform, and I was running around Grand Central Station with a fake semi-automatic weapon, which was something that's a little harder to do these days. But this was actually, I would say maybe 3 or 4 months before September 11th.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, they were a little lax about these things, and at that point, and I just got the bug, I guess, and there I kind of became friends with the casting director or casting agent or whoever, the rep from the extras company. And then a few months later, I was a guy in a black suit in Men in Black. I was like one of the Men in Black in Men in Black 2. And, you know, did that for a couple of years, did a lot of extra work, or like, I don't know. I went to college because I figured like, all right, well, I got to learn how to be an actor if I'm going to be an actor. And college didn't teach me a whole hell of a lot. I kind of have like a love-hate thing with theater. Like I like the live audience, but they don't really tell stories I want to tell. You know, it's like mostly shit for old people. And as far as like, oh, all right, well, I'll go audition for student films, but student films were generally like, hey, I'm making this movie starring myself opposite some girl I want to nail. You want to be an extra in it? So I was already getting paid more for that. But, you know, still found myself in some stuff. I ended up a lead in a Greek action movie, or Cyprus, the guy from Cyprus. So I was, for only one and only time my name was above the title on anything. And then, you know, when I ran out of money and ran out of the need for college, I ended up working in a place called the Cinema Arts Center, which is here on Long Island, where I became friends with like most of the filmmakers I still work with today. This is like around 2005. And we ended up doing a TV show concept, or whatever the hell you want to call it, called The Gooligans, which is like
a little bit of that today.
Was that?
I said I caught a little bit of that today.
Yeah. You know, I really loved my time with them, and it kind of formed, I guess, what I would become eventually like a creature actor, you know, because I did a lot of like, there was the three main guys, and then I did like the majority of the other monsters, creatures, luchadors, mummies, you know, undead lounge singers, whatever the hell they had me doing on that show. And we beat our heads against that wall for a good 4 or 5 years. We made a pilot, we made a mini series, we traveled to every con you can imagine, made a lot of cool friends. Everybody loved it, but nobody wanted to give us any money for it. But one of the Gooligans, the directors, is a good friend of mine named Sean King. And Sean,
isn't he the guy that did is he the guy that did the Screamwalkers?
That's Sean, yeah.
Okay, good. So, please be right. Please be right.
So I started working with Sean a lot, and then suddenly, while we were doing the Gooligans, my ship came in, and I started doing some really major film stuff for, you know, a good 5 or 6 years. Starting with I guess was you know, I'm trying to think what the first one was. I did a stint on the TV show. I did an episode of the TV show Girls.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it was like, you know, it was pretty much me and Kylo Ren up there. I had no idea he was even like a lead on the show. You know, that
Kylo Ren.
Yeah. Oh, why am I? His name's escaping.
Yeah, it's the actor.
The guy though, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about the guy that was.
Yeah, the actor was in it.
Yeah, he's like the main guy.
He's a giant actor now. I can't think of his name either.
He was still on his way up.
He was in that something Logan's Run, I think is the name of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good. I can't think of his name either.
but that show was kind of a star maker. I mean, it gave us, I guess, Lena Dunham, if she's someone you're into, or and the girl who was in Megan was in it.
Okay,
and a few others, Megan and Get Out, that chick. So you know, I did that and kind of got hooked up with a good kind of a casting director through that, and then ended up in another whole bunch of movies, you know, for a few years, and got to like. And that time I was doing a lot of fight stuff. I was doubling, like I was doing body double and like stand-in and stunt work for a couple of like pretty famous guys, you know, which was kind of cool. I did the what's it called, the Darren Aronofsky movie Noah. So I was on that for a good month. Was that?
So that's a hell of a guy to work with, Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah, I mean, you know what, honestly,
fan of the wrestler.
Yeah, he could walk in. It was not one of his more intimate films, though. No, you know, he could walk in this room right now and smack me in the face, and I'm not sure I'd know who he was. You know, it was a big fucking production. You know, it was like a big battle scene. I mean, I was like what's called like a frontline, like stunt fighter. So it's like, you know, they have extras, and then they have people that are kind of in front of the camera, and you get to see what they do. And got to meet and hang out with the actor Ray Winstone a lot on that one. That was kind of cool. He was awesome. You know. Yeah, you know, and Russell Crowe was in it, and you know, I got to work with him quite a bit, and that was kind of nifty as well. So like, I mean, I had this like string of really bigger movies, and I never really had to leave New York for it, so it was kind of cool. And then after a few years, it started drying up, and I was getting married and kind of settling down, and took a few years off, and stayed friends with Sean, and then Sean had pointed out to me that Heckman was doing this Friday the 13th thing, and I've always been a big Jason fan, and at the time,
what's your favorite Friday the 13th film?
Oh, don't make me answer that question. It's like
it's like your favorite child.
I'll give you my favorite 3 because they're all my favorites for different reasons. So
I have 3 favorites as well.
2, 4, and 6 are my favorites.
Those are mine too.
2 because I love the cast. I gave more of a shit about that cast than any of the other casts. 4 because 6 because CJ Graham's my favorite Jason, and 4 because it's just 4 I think is like Jason's like Dream Warriors. It's like where they got him right. Yep. They found the pocket, and
Ted White forever.
Yeah.
Ted White's my favorite Jason.
Yeah. Ted White's his favorite human Jason, and CJ's his favorite zombie Jason.
Yep.
And I'm pretty much there at the same. I pretty much agree. Yeah, pretty much. It's hard to argue that for sure. 5 is my 5 and 1 are my favorite. 1 and 5.
Well, I'm very partial to the part 2 Jason too, just because he's a fellow.
That's my favorite Jason.
That's
Steve Dash is the guy I usually go with because I liked him because he was vulnerable.
Yes.
He wasn't Superman like he was later, and that just kind of made him more scary because you could picture this guy being real easy.
Well, I mean, in the evolution of Jason, he was like in his scrappy phase. He was out for the first time killing people. He was going to show you what he was all about. He had a lot to prove in those days, and chip on his shoulder.
Right, and he got like when she kicked him, she fought him like physically, like he got hurt.
Yeah,
it made him more real, in my opinion. Yeah, I really liked that one a lot for sure. So we noticed on your credits, Ryan and I both huge Boardwalk Empire fans.
Yeah,
what was that?
Oh, that was fucking awesome. I mean, that was probably, because here's the thing too. I just got off of Noah, and Noah was 3 months of night shoots in the rain, and about 40 pounds of armor that was leather, and when it would get wet, it would be like 70 pounds. And then I went immediately from Noah to Boardwalk Empire, where I was wearing like nice suits, and I got to shave, and occasionally had like, attractive women running around me, like. Noah was a big sausage party, So, I mean, it was, I got to shoot Tommy guns and, hang out with some really fucking amazing actors, like, and I was generally like in Capone's camp with that. Yeah. So I got to meet and hang out with like Steve. What's that?
Graham. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I got to hang out with Mr. Graham quite a bit.
In the scene where there's the fight between Chalky's people and Capone's people, are you the guy that's right to the right of Capone in that scene?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I thought. That's what Ryan thought too. We were pretty sure that was you.
And when he's shooting that big like World War I mounted machine gun, you see my face just looming over his left shoulder. I'm just like sitting there with a gun, like I'm gonna shoot you with my little gun here.
That show overall is full of heavy hitters, of course. The ensemble cast is one of the best ever for TV, I think. But just
best
even even just in that scene though, like just all the big, like I'm a huge Michael Kenneth Williams guy because I love Boardwalk and The Wire too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's kind of ironic or coincidental more than ironic. I think Margate Sands is the best episode of Boardwalk Empire, and I do, and it's the season 3 finale. And in The Wire, it's the penultimate episode of season 3, but it leads into the finale. Michael Kenneth Williams plays a big part in that episode as well. And I think that's the best episode of that series too. So it's kind of crazy. Like the end of season 3 for 2 of my favorite shows of all time is like the best part of the series. And he's in both of them. It's kind of coincidental.
Yeah, that was such a surreal night when we shot, because we shot most of that shoot up scene in one night.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a long ass night. Because the thing is, again, with like the road to Atlantic City, wasn't paved at the time. And so there's an airport actually on Long Island, very close to where I was living at the time. I didn't have to go into the city. I mean, it was literally like a 15-minute drive into work that day. I've never had anything like that before, because usually, I'm on the train and shit like that. But what's it called? Like there's like these service roads all around this airport and they would, anytime you'd see someone on the road, it was at an airport in a town called Farmingdale. It's like a small airport. If you have like a private jet, you fly out of that place. It's not like for like big international flights or
no
anything
commercial
like that.
airliners or anything.
Nothing like that.
Yeah.
But what that day, my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, was, the night before was brought to the emergency room, and I like sat with her all night, didn't get a wink of sleep, came home, showered, changed, went to set, and then shot an all-nighter. So I was up for a good 30 hours a lot of that day. And I just remember I remember that was like one of the first times I had met and spoken to, Michael K. White. And it was just like, I just loved his fucking work. So it was like, I don't get starstruck, but I'm like, whatever's coming out of my mouth is going to be so fucking stupid right now, because I'm just like, mush brain. And so I just kind of said hi and I shook his hand and that was that. And they had all these like old like Ford Model Ts all over the place. And at one point I'm like sitting on like the step board, like on the side of it with a rubber shotgun on my hand, like resting my forehead on the barrel, trying to like get some sleep sitting up. And I hear a voice from inside the Model T, and I forget the actor's name for the life of me. But you remember how he had his buddy like on the show, like
Chalky's number one.
Yeah, the guy who like in the next
I know who
season,
he is too, but I can't think of Ryan knows.
Yeah, Purnell or whatever his name is.
What's his shoot name? Do you know that?
No.
Okay. I figured you would.
Well, anyway, so
Mr. Purnell.
Yeah. that guy.
Yeah.
So I hear his very distinctive voice from inside, like, "Hey, you could lay in the front if you want." And he was like sleeping in the back of the Model T. So he's like, and he was like, "What's your name?" And I'm like, "I'm James." He's like, "Oh, James, if they call you, I'll let you know." All right, man. So I got a good, I don't know, it felt like an hour. I probably only slept about 10 minutes, but it was definitely in full gangster regalia with a shotgun, sleeping in a Model T. And I'm like, all right, this is how this is how John Dillinger did it, So.
Awesome. Yeah, when I seen that on your credits, I was like, well, we got to talk about that because Ryan and I, huge Boardwalk Empire
love
fans.
That show so much.
I think it was better than Sopranos, so I don't care what nobody says.
I agree.
Fuck, it was like 12 years ago now. I'm making me feel old.
Wow.
I remember that mounted gun was so fucking loud. They were like, guys, you don't have to overact, and like, dude, our brains are melting. So they put like earplugs in her ears and like painted them to look like her skin, Like some lady sit there painting earbuds with like a little fucking brush and, not earbuds, like earplugs,
Right on.
So
that whole season, actually, I think is the best season of that show because it's the one with Gyp Rossetti and that whole.
Oh, yeah.
Bobby Cannavale. He's phenomenal, too.
I was actually hired to be in his gang and get killed by Jack Houston.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah.
And they were shooting him. And they were also shooting like Al Capone stuff, and like they went through. And at the time, I had like kind of a hockey smile. It was like one of my teeth were shorter than the other, and that was like they loved that. That was like crack to them because they didn't have like good dental shit in the Roaring '20s. So it was like if you were a guy, if you had fucked up teeth, and if you were a girl, if you had natural breasts, either big or small, boom, you were in. They would just grab you for it. So it's like. I ended up, like they went through and they're like, okay, well, could you come over here? And, they changed my hair a little bit. They gave me this like duck's ass haircut and a bunch of people in. And then they're like, okay, you're going to go over to this studio and work with this scene. And it was like, I walk in and fucking there's Stephen Graham as Al Capone. And I'm like, shit, I'm in the gang, So it kind of worked out. And I just remember somebody being like, yeah, you got picked out as an extra. And I'm like, yeah, you're fucking lucky, man, so. And I ended up getting a lot of work out of that one, the only thing that kind of sucked was we shot in the summer a lot and the suits were like wool, so it was like, but that's been a big theme of like, when I started telling you about Jason, a big part of the experience was like heat stroke and heat exhaustion, they fucking killed me in that suit, but yeah, so that was definitely a high point.
Yeah. So how did you get cast for Victim No More, like to be Jason? How did that come about?
That's a little bit of a, not really. I mean, like, so I'd taken a few years off and my wife is very big in the local theater here. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that she would do on the side is she would design like if a show needed like special makeup or like wigs and stuff, like she would design makeup and wigs. And you know, I've always kind of made my own like kind of props and like things like that and like life-size creatures and stuff. So I had gotten asked to do props for a show and they really liked what I was doing. And next thing you know, we had this like little kind of business where like we were doing like kind of art department stuff. And so initially Bobby had reached out to me, I think through Sean, because Sean King from the Gooligans is the cinematographer as Screamwalkers for the Victim No More movies. No, I had initially reached out to Bobby and said, hey, me and my wife have this thing, you know, if you're interested, you know, we can, you know, do your like kind of props, makeup, whatever, and all that stuff. And he had asked me to make the Jason machetes. And I was like, just so you know, I do have a background in stunts as well. So if you need anything like that, you know, I mean, I'd be more than happy to step in. And I think through Sean was like, listen, this guy's a really good creature actor. Like he talked me up a little bit. So next thing you know, we were talking about Jason, and that was that. I was Jason at that point, which is kind of a tough sell. I mean, I'm not a very tall guy. I'm only about I'm an even 6 feet. I mean, I don't consider that short. I never considered myself short until I put that fucking mask on and people started this.
The rules, you got to be at least 6 foot to play Jason. There's only been one under 6 foot ever.
Yeah.
Well,
Steve Dash is the only one, 5'11". And even he was 5'11". He wasn't short.
Well, you know, I mean, I did like have like lifts on in certain scenes. Because here's the thing: is I'm like,
hotter boots.
Was that?
Yeah.
And you know what? I mean, I'm not any stranger to playing characters I'm too short to play, because I actually even played Lurch in the Addams Family musical for a run. So like, it's not like anything for me to like try to fuck with my stature a little bit. But I'm like, Sean's like, yeah, just cast smaller actors, you know, because I have like a big frame and stuff. And Bobby proceeded to just only cast people over 6'2", you know. So like the guy I kill with the what's it called? It's like 6'4". The guy I killed with a rib. Yeah. The guy whose neck I break.
Greatest kill in Friday the 13th history.
I mean, listen, I fucking love that one. You know, I'm the one who coined the phrase "the rib eye kill." You know, that was mine. You know, but that guy Joe Winchell is actually a very old friend of mine, and I had been working with him for a year. So it's like it was good because it's like I knew that I could just, you know, throw him around and he would not get hurt. You know, and then like that whole. I mean, I only had one eye, so that whole scene where like I'm pushing the what's it called, the rib bone into his eye, he had to guide that. You know, I put my hand in the position, but he was guiding the rib towards his own eye. You know, and yeah, he definitely did some Fulci shit. Like when I was looking at him, like I'm watching the rib go closer and closer to his eye, and I actually watched the kind of fiber. It's not fiberglass, but it's like a resin kind of fake rib bone, like kind of push in the skin of his eyeball like a drum, and I'm like, yo, fuck this. When they yelled cut, I'm like, you can't do that again. I'll fill his fucking mask up with vomit right now. Yeah. You know, but it really was effective. Of course, he was screaming so loud he peeked out the mic, so then we had to fucking re-record all of his screaming. You know, but again, it was definitely a very memorable one. And like honestly, if they'd cast anyone but Joe, I was happy to wear fucking lifts because you know what? Again, I had already fought him like 2 or 3 times in like different plays and movies and shit like that. So it's like we kind of knew each other well.
Right on.
And then you had like Deanna in there who played why do I always forget her name? The girl, his fiance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she was, you know, turned out to be like not only an incredible actress, but like a really awesome person. Like, you know, I stayed very good friends with her. I even officiated her wedding, you know, which is,
oh wow,
yeah, she got married a few months ago, and I officiated it. So yeah, so I mean, Sean kind of talked me up, and next thing you know, I was playing Jason, and then Bobby got to know my wife, and she ended up as one of the final girls. In the end, she's the girl with the bow and arrow, shoots me in the head with the arrow.
Oh,
this is actually my wife.
Know that.
And she took archery lessons, and I kind of was like, you know, Lindsay, you're not going to get to shoot me for real. You're gonna shoot into a bush, and then they're gonna cut to the arrow in my head. But she's like, I want to know what. Like, she was just very insistent on. I don't know. Maybe she said because she wanted to know what she wanted to look like. She knew what she was doing. But I feel like one day I'm gonna piss her off, and I'm gonna be out in the backyard, and she's gonna be like, all right, start running, you know. But what's kind of cool is, you know, when we'll talk a little bit more about it later, but you know, I mean, she's going to be one of the main kind of characters in Loose Ends. You know, it's cool. So she's one of the central characters in the sequel.
Yeah, Bobby mentioned that.
I totally spelled Loose Ends wrong on that trailer at the bottom, but you're the campaign's on Indiegogo, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I put in this thing down here. But there'll be a link on the page, and anybody that donates $5 or more to that will be entered into a contest to win a signed item from Kane Hodder of my choice. I'm just not sure what, but I have several Kane Hodder items, and I will donate one of them to one of you that donates to this film.
It's also important to mention, just because I don't know how good of a job we did getting the word out. We are not going to be the first movie we have on Blu-ray. You could buy it wherever. We're not going to be doing pressings for part 2. The only way you could get a physical media copy is through donating to the campaign.
Right. Yeah. So, Bobby had told me to mention that, and I was going to.
Yeah. So that's important, especially because I mean, like I need the Blu-ray to everything. So I'm a big kind of media hoarder, and if you are too, then I mean, I definitely recommend making the contribution. You're just buying in advance at that point.
I wasn't into physical media until I started doing this podcast, because we'd want to review X movie, whatever it is, and I used to have hundreds and hundreds of DVDs, but I sold them all because everything was on one of these apps. So we want to review whatever movie, and I'd go look, and it's nowhere. It's nowhere. So I just started buying them again, like as we'd want to review them. And then, just now I've built up a pretty decent collection again.
Especially in the like obscure horror realm.
Yeah.
That shit ain't streaming anywhere.
Or and then even to buy this stuff again, like we were going to do Curse of Michael Myers. To buy that DVD is like $40.
Oh, and the producer's cut is even more.
Yeah, because they're out of print.
Yeah.
And so eventually we found it streaming on something. I didn't have to pay that much money, but then I got into Fulci and Italian horror, so I got a bunch of those 4Ks and stuff like that. But I do have the Victim No More Blu-ray, and I got that just because I met, oh my god, what is her name? She's a psychiatrist in the movie. She was in
Jill Whitlow.
Jill Whitlow, and and I met her, and I wanted her to sign that rather than one of her own things. And I was like, cool. So just let me do that. And so that's why I have that. And plus, I wanted the behind the scenes stuff, which you're only going to be able to get from donating to the campaign for Loose Ends. And there was some really cool behind the scenes stuff on the Blu-ray to Victim No More. So it will definitely be worth getting.
Yeah.
At $25 for that, or $30,
something like that. I mean, if you catch us at a con, you could get it for $20. Or I mean,
I was talking about the Loose Ends perk on.
The Loose Ends perk. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I think it's like
30. It needs to be on the page though, but I think it's $30.
I think it's 30. Yeah, I think it is as well. Don't hold me to that though.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we do like full behind the scenes docs. Like we're gonna do one for this one the same way we did for the first one. The first one we tackled some great shit in it. Like we found out that I couldn't hold in farts in my Jason costume. I just it was impossible. And there was one day, and like, listen, I don't want to like they both did something very, very nice for us, and I don't want to like throw that at anyone's face. But there was the day where we were doing the ribeye kill that day actually. And we broke for lunch, and I can't take that fucking costume. Once it's on, it's on,
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, like they open the back up, they would take the head and the arms off, but I was still mostly in the costume. And so we broke for lunch, and Catherine Mary Stewart, who was of course Aunt Megan Jarvis in the movie, and was also our second unit director, wanted to treat us to lunch. So she took my wife, who's a vegetarian, to the pizza place to go get some pizzas and stuff. And so they get a cheese pie and something else, and they're like, oh, they're gonna want some meat. And they got this meat lovers pie that's like, like you generally, eat pepperoni, sausage, like meatballs, like the shit that's on a pizza. But this had like everything, like ground beef, bacon, pulled pork. There was something like 20 different kinds of meat. And this thing would have been fucking delicious if I wasn't covered in silicone in a 100-degree day and then had to go put a mask on. So it's like, I had to eat something, so I of course ate 2 slices of it, and then like proceeded to sweat meat into the Jason hood. And that mask isn't cloth; it's cloth, but it's coated with silicone, so it's like it doesn't breathe, it doesn't absorb water. Like I could only really breathe in and out of the eye hole, and like all I could do was like smell pepperoni in that thing. And then as the day went by and the digestive system caught up with me, I was just lighting the place up, and I just couldn't do anything about it. So like they're sitting there shooting this documentary, and I'm I'm blowing dirt left and right, and it's just, and this is the kind of stuff you get to see if you buy the physical media.
Oh no, there was a lot of real cool stuff on there, man, for sure. And it's I just checked, it's $40 for the Blu-ray through Indiegogo, but there's other perks on there. You get $13 will get you a thank you in the credits. $20 gets you a pin, $30 gets you a beanie, t-shirts for $50, all kinds of. $60 get you both Blu-rays, I think. Let me see. It says double feature deal, $60. I'm assuming there's no description there.
Yeah,
I gotta hit details. There we go. Description: you get both Blu-rays and a Survivor Squad pin. And yes, I got a couple of the posters from Victim No More, and Bobby signed one for me. Can you see it? It's back there somewhere behind Michael Myers. You can't see it.
Well,
is covering it.
I'm on a phone right now, so you're kind of just like a smaller thumbnail.
Oh yeah, right on. I was mostly showing like the people that were watching.
I got you.
But Brian says happens to the best of us. I think he was referring to your gas in the Jason costume.
But yeah, anyway, it was I mean, it was definitely a high point. And I'd done a lot of big shit, but I mean, this was like a real performance, and it's done nothing but give me good things. Like even like, just this past weekend, me and Bobby were at the New Jersey
Horror Sideshow Market, was
the
it?
Horror Sideshow Market, yeah. And there was a kid there who came just to see me,
Awesome.
And I'm like, this little like 8-year-old that I guess, I mean, as far as like a Friday the 13th film goes, we're a little on the tamer side, it's still Jason. I'm still killing people, but like, there's no nudity, the language is not as bad and all that stuff. So I guess his parents let him watch it, and, he was all excited. He brought me like a drawing and stuff, and I'm like, I mean, like I never got recognized for anything. It doesn't happen often, but like every so often I'll be walking around, like mostly like a horror themed thing, like happened I was in Salem, Massachusetts, and someone's like, "Hey, Victim No More." I'm like, "Holy shit! Like, are you fucking serious, dude?" Like,
they got to really be a fan because in the movie you're costumed up; they can't see you, so they got to really be a fan to know what you look like in real life.
Yeah, either they got me through social media or maybe like at a con or something. But yeah, no, it doesn't it doesn't happen often. But like, I love it, man. Like, people like we're at a con and somebody asked me for my autograph. I mean, like, I'm never gonna get that again. I mean. But and I haven't gotten it since. So, it's like whatever you buy. Like I don't charge any money. I'm always happy to sign, whatever you got. So
speaking of Brian Emmenizer, though, he doesn't sign stuff.
No.
South Jersey Jason, yeah.
Big
right next to the Victim No More picture is his 8x10 or was it unsigned. Yeah, he put it in an envelope, gave it to me. I got home, I opened it up, no signature.
Well, he's a good dude. I mean, again, like we have a good relationship with him.
We love
We're just breaking his balls. These are buddies.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, but hey, if it's your friend and he won't sign a picture for you,
I know, dude. It's crazy.
No, he's a good dude. We did the Friday the 13th event in Blairstown back in September, and he dressed like me.
And he'll be there tomorrow for any of you that are near New Jersey, by the way.
It's Santa, right?
Oh yeah, he did
Santa Voorhees.
Yeah. But we brought him a Victim No More hood, and he kind of walked around as me. So I have a bunch of pictures of me being choked by me, which is kind of fun.
Pretty cool. Hell yeah. Yeah, he was pretty excited about that. I remember when he was talking about that.
I hope for his sake. I hope for his sake it wasn't the same hood wet all in.
Sorry, my cat succeeded in knocking my cat over. So he figured it out.
Anytime anybody from Victim No More is on, a cat has to knock something.
Well,
yeah, that's true.
He jumped on my lap and took the earbuds with me.
Yeah.
There we go.
Sorry about that. It's the cat jump scare for the Friday the 13th thing, because they have them in so many of the movies.
Was it 4 of them?
Come here.
At least we never really counted them, but there was a.
All right, now I have a dog here.
There's 1 in 6.
This is Charlotte.
Oh.
Charlotte took the cat's place. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I mean, like that one just kept giving back to me, So I mean, I'm really excited to be doing another one, and I mean, again, I'm limited to what I could say about the sequel, but he did put a trailer out, so I could talk about the shit you see in the trailer, you know. So obviously, Jason's got a bit of a different look in this one, which I'm kind of excited about. He's a little more classic, you know. And there's a lot less silicone on me. It's really just gonna be Dickie's shirt Jason instead of like, you know, full bodysuit, you know. And
you get to actually wear the hawk in this one.
Oh yeah, that too. You know, because I was like, when they first signed on, I'm like, yeah, man, I can't wait to get in the hockey mask. And Bobby's like, well, about that.
A lot easier for you to eat pizza on this shoot too, then.
Well, I mean, now I believe it or not, just like 2 or 3 months ago, I got diagnosed with celiac, so there's no more pizza for James. So yeah,
no.
So I'm going to be watching people eat pizza, and I'm going to
have some crust.
Man, could you imagine that, Ryan, having to watch people eat pizza? He loves pizza.
I would die.
Well, I mean, I
just say fuck it.
I don't mind gluten-free pizza. I don't eat any other gluten-free shit, but I don't mind the pizza. But like, not every pizza place has it.
Like that cauliflower crust thing.
Yeah, that's not bad. But you know, if you want gas, you know, that stuff's rough. But yeah, no. So, but it's gonna be a lot lower impact in terms of like, because again, a big challenge to playing Jason was that they started shooting this in August. We shot in August and September, and it was hot. It was like record temperatures the whole time, you know. Like, the coolest day was probably in the mid 90s that we shot Jason. It just and at first I was like, all right, I'm going method with this shit. I'm gonna be Jason and I'm gonna stay Jason. And I was like walking around the woods and kind of creeping people out. And we shot not in succession, but like we did shoot the shit before I had the mask first, so I had the cowl on. So I mean, as warm as the mask was, the cowl was 10 times worse, because again, it was a silicone hood that just like this much of my face stuck out of, you know. And it was awesome. And I mean, like, hats off to Ricky Vitus, the guy who designed that costume and did the special effects makeup. He really did an amazing job. But like just to give you like what the suit was, I put on what was supposed to be heat wicking Under Armour that didn't work. And then they covered me in baby powder and put me in like the bodysuit, which was like Jason naked, you know, without a pee-pee. And then they put the costume over that, and then started adding layers of gunk and scum and filthy water. And at some point, we were just ladling like duck shit laden, like pond water down my back, you know, just to kind of get the look. And there was at one point, like, I was standing there and they were trying to get the shot right. And they were trying to, like, the sun was just beating down directly on our heads. And they were trying to, like, get the glare out of the shot. And, like, I was holding the machete and I dropped it. And I bent over to pick it up. And, like, the neck of the costume made, like, almost like a spout on a milk cart. And just sweat started pouring out of my neck. And then, like, I started lurching forward like I was going to pass out. And, like, a PA kind of grabbed me and straightened me up. And like my face was beet red. And from that moment on, like the hard part, I mean, it's not an easy thing to play Jason, but the hardest part was just keeping me cool enough to not. So it's like when I wasn't shooting, anything that was on my head came off my head, the arms came off, the back opened, and they sat me down in the shade somewhere and then just came and got me, you know. So Ricky, the guy who did the costume and the special effects stuff, also became like my de facto handler, because like the second I would get up, especially on the day with all the girls, someone would steal my chair and my spot, you know, because they found the nice shady spot for me. And I couldn't be that guy to be like, yo, you're in my chair. But like, you know, Ricky, who's like probably about 5'3", like was just running ahead, like get out of his chair. You're in Jason's chair. You got to get out of Jason's chair. Get up, you know. And he was kind of like my bulldog, you know. So yeah, so I mean, with this, it's much less costume, and from what I understand, we're shooting in the spring, and then we're taking a break for the summer, and then we're finishing up in the fall. So all cool weather months, you know. So I'm not that, like, again, nobody would twist my arm and get me to play Jason again. I'll do it in a heartbeat. But like, it's kind of nice that we're learning from lessons. You don't get that often.
Right on. So in the upcoming film, I know you're not going to spoil anything, you're not going to talk about anything too much, but is there any kills that you've heard about that might rival the ribeye kill?
There's one we haven't seen before that's pretty fucking unique. He hasn't told me much, and I'm allowed to spoil one thing today.
Okay.
There's one piece of news that you guys are going to get before anyone else. It's gonna drop tomorrow.
Oh, this is probably the news I got yesterday.
I think he did tell you about it.
Okay.
But it's pretty.
And I
fucking
said
cool.
I can't talk about it unless James brings it up before you came on. So
All right,
we'll
well,
see.
I'm allowed to drop that bomb. But this one is gonna be fucking loaded with Easter eggs from the franchise. If you thought like we dropped a little bit in, this one is like, because really what we're getting into in the sequel, if you watch the trailer again, you have a support group. The majority of those girls are the girls at the end, who are kind of ripping me apart. My wife's there. I'm even there playing, not me, playing some random, but it's all people who survived Jason or other serial killers or other lunatics, or so people who survived that situation or lost people in those circumstances, so that's why, again, it's headed up by Aunt Megan, Megan Jarvis. But Jill Whitlow's character is, kind of integral in that group as well, we left it with a lot of questions, like how did those girls know where Jason was? Was it a trap? What were they doing there? What's, Robbie's relationship obviously is, Robbie is obviously Trish's son, you find that out, just through the voicemails and stuff, and that was definitely Kimberly Beck, I mean, you could see that in, IMDb. So it's like, we kind of, again, I guess that loose ends is a perfect name for it because we're tying up all those loose ends.
Absolutely. And that's when we have Bobby on. That's what the first time we were like, I mean, we love the movie, but you left. If you don't make a part 2 to this, man, we're going to hunt you down because we need to know what the hell happened.
I mean, and again, he tried to fill it up. I mean, like if you look at like the names of the characters, there's like, like there, I'm trying to think, I mean, like, there's like characters that are kind of being alluded, like, like Amanda Shepherd is obviously supposed to be one of the Shepherds. I mean, in an earlier draft of the script, like she was telekinetically kind of holding Jason while they got Robbie out of the way. And I think they cut that for whatever reason. I mean, it was too corny, or honestly, that day we were fucking running out of time and we were fighting a hurricane. A hurricane was on its way that day.
Oh, wow.
Like it started storming on the drive home, so it's like, I think they were like, we got to get out of here. Let's just, let's cut the telekinesis bit, which I was like excited about because I love, I don't know. Part 8 is kind of like, I get that, like, why people, it's one of the weaker ones, but like, I don't know, like if you see a dog with 3 legs and you really love that dog, like that's part 8 to me. I love that movie. We got a big Weekend at Bernie's fan, so having Kerry Kaiser in it and shit like that, I mean,
part 7.
That's part 7.
Part 7. I'm sorry.
Oh, cool.
Right.
Cool. Because I was thinking, man, anybody that loved Tiki said he loved part 8 earlier, but I don't think anybody loves part 8.
Yeah,
I don't really love part 8. I like when he punches the guy's head off, and I like the scene with like the city punks,
parts.
And the punker scene where he kicks over the fucking the boombox, and that's it. Yeah. I don't know. I knew I was gonna screw that up because I was just talking about part 8 with Bobby earlier, and
it's all good.
I knew I was gonna screw that one up, but yeah, like
so. I love part 7 too. It's definitely the best of Kane's movies. I thought so, and I didn't mind the telekinesis battle, the Carrie versus Jason thing. I thought it was pretty cool, and obviously the best look of Jason the whole time.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, and it definitely, like, they throw down, and I mean, and I think honestly, that if you really want to like peel back the layers, there's your explanation for why Jason doesn't take the hockey mask and he takes the bag, because Tina destroys his mask. That's not his mask. That's some cheap Party City shit. He doesn't want that. Mm-hmm. I mean, initially, I think the bag was, I mean, it didn't really pan out, mostly because this was supposed to shoot like I signed on the month before like the pandemic hit. Mm-hmm. So we pushed it off. It was great because we had like almost 2 years of pre-production, but like, so we were in there ready to shoot. But, at the time when I had signed on, like Amy Steele was going to be a much bigger part of the movie, and so I think it was more of like a, Ginny versus Jason like rematch. Was one of the motivations for using the mask, the bag. But I mean, the fact that nobody's done it since, I just think and it was just such a vicious, cool look, to mix it with the part 7 body,
I thought big time when he put the mask back down and you seen him with the sack I'm a big Part 2 fan, so I really love that, and a lot of people really like that you went that direction rather than the way that everybody else does it.
Well, we don't get a lot. I mean, we've been kind of lucky, and we don't get a ton of negative feedback.
Mm-hmm.
I had one girl on there double and triple down about my height. And then people were like, it's woke, the girls win. And I'm like, have you ever seen a fucking slasher movie before, man?
Yeah.
Like,
that's the whole
The final girl is a trope for a reason.
yeah, they always win. That's the way this goes.
I mean, you know what I mean? When have you seen a dude walk away from a horror movie whose name didn't rhyme with like Spruce Chample? I mean, guys die in horror movies. It's just the way it goes. I hate to say it. We don't make it. Unless you're the killer, and then maybe you make it.
That's stupid. Oh my god.
So I mean, but like again, one of the pieces was like people like we don't understand why you didn't do the hockey mask. At the end of the day, it was something unique. And it was, and again, Bobby's really a big fucking fan of the franchise. So I mean, he's looking.
Oh yeah.
He's looking to find every little nook and cranny that you didn't think about since so. And it's fleshing out pretty good too. I mean, we're starting to put the cast together. Catherine Mary Stewart's coming back, of course. Jill Whitlow will be back. We signed on Sasha Graham. I don't know if you guys know who she is. She was in Screamwalkers. She was one of the main.
I started watching that earlier because I found it on some app I've never heard of, and wanting to see it for a while, and I haven't been able to see it. And then I didn't get to watch the whole thing yet. Sasha Graham, what character was she in Screamwalkers?
She's the professor, the college professor.
Yeah. I knew I recognized her from something else.
Yeah, but she's also like she did a lot of like straight to video like horror stuff. Like she did this vampire series called Addicted to Murder. Mm-hmm. You really got a deep dive for that, but like she's got her own kind of like set of cloud. And I worked with her again on Screamwalkers. I was I did a small role in it. I played a reporter in it, but I also did a stunt coordination for it as well. So I did I put the fight scenes together and some of the harder stuff I helped Sean figure out like but I mean you have to see the end. But like the end kind of like climactic scene I was around for. I also did all the close-ups kills. So like if you see like the close-up shots of like the claw, like at one point like it disembowels someone, that's my hand, or like a knife stab in the head, just because we didn't have a lot of stuff, so like they wanted a trained hand in there. So but I got to work with Sasha quite a bit on that film, and I was around quite a bit of that shoot, and she's awesome. She's going to be a really great addition. And now I get to drop the one big spoiler that I'm allowed to drop today. Yes. We signed on Laura Marie Taylor, so she's going to be in it. And
this is what I heard of. I didn't think I was allowed to talk about, but I was going to tell Ryan off air.
Yeah, we have officially signed her on. We were hanging out with her just on Saturday.
Sideshow Market, right?
At the Sideshow Market. Yeah. I am smitten with her. She is amazing. Yeah,
we've met her a couple times.
We've had her on the show.
She's been on the show.
She's on the show to promote her new movie that came out this year.
In a Violent Nature.
In a Violent Nature. Yeah, the fact that like that she's still going and that movie was fucking great. And like when that trailer started dropping, I gotta say like 600 people sent it to me like, hey, it's you, because it's just the bag shuffling through the woods. I mean, it's a lot different than what we did, but like, I mean, I guess I gave off that vibe, and I got the same build as that guy. And stuff,
say Johnny was built like you, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I was just like, hey, does this look familiar? Does this look familiar? And like, we do have that it's not the whole movie, but we do have that over the shoulder shot at least once or twice in our film. So it was kind of, and then like I'm watching it, and then it gets to the end, and I have that like, like that like Leonardo DiCaprio with the beer like moment, where like, and I'm like, shit, that's fucking Vicky, So I mean, it's great to have her. I'm not allowed to tell you what she's gonna be in it. But yes.
I don't think we'd want you to, because I think we want to. Unfortunately, we want to know as little as possible because we want to watch the movie and really enjoy it, too. But that was really cool when I heard that. Because Bobby was texting me yesterday, or the day before, I can't remember, and he was excited about that. He's like, "Yeah, I got a spoiler for you," and then I was like, "Oh," because he knows that me and Ryan are huge Laura Marie Taylor fans, so. and you know, her history with the franchise, and yeah, the coolest, not the final girl ever, and yeah, we love Lauren for sure.
Yeah, and the fact that she's really leaned into the ugly brown panties thing is, you know, I mean, God bless her. You know, she was awesome. I was very, very like. I mean, I think she's like top 3 like celebrities I've met that like, you know, I mean, like I was just like had a great experience with, you know.
Oh, for sure. Like you just seem like you know she's like a friend. Like she doesn't seem like, you know, anybody famous. You know, like she just seems like she's so down to earth and so like normal. You know, I guess when you meet her and you talk to her, you know, she's just awesome, and she remembers everybody too. You know, like
Yeah.
you know, like she meets so many people at cons, talks to them through social media and everything. Like actually like knows who these people are and what they are. She remembered when we had her come on the show. She remembered meeting us at the Blairstown convention that Brian Emmenizer was a part of, and you know, hanging out there with her and everything.
Dude, that was the first time I met her in person, was that, and even before I went up to talk to her, I'd never seen her in person before. But she's like, I know you from somewhere. When I walked up to her table, and I'm like, this is my first time meeting you. So, and she's like, no, I know you from somewhere. And then we were talking. She did my 8x10. She goes, are you one of those masked guys? And I'm like, she had seen my shit online.
Masks.
Well, with I had the best possible introduction to her you could have, which I was like, I forget if I was talking to Brian or David, but I was like standing in a doorway, and she just came in, like it was before the con had opened, and she said hi to him, and then turned to me and was like, "Oh, hi," gave me a big hug, and I'm like,
"That's who she is." Yeah,
I was frozen. I was like, I'm hugging Lauren Marie Taylor right now. Hi, I'm James. Right, I play Jason in Heckman's Victim No More. I keep calling it Heckman's movie.
Bobby Heckman presents Victim No More.
that Heckman joint, you know.
So he could be like Brian, and he's got a B as his first letter of his first name. He could be big time Bobby Heckman.
Yeah,
because
like
here's the thing:
Brian
is like
Emmenizer. You East Coast guys, man.
So the guy who played Robbie in Victim No More, his real name is Hans. So the whole time we were like shooting with him, I'd be like, you know, it was either me or Sean going, Hans, Booby, I'm your white knight, you know, and then Hans Booby turned into Hans Booby, and then Bobby turned into Booby. So now I call him Booby. So if I don't call him Heckman, I'm calling him Booby. And like, I don't know. I mean, if I was Bobby, I might not love that, you know, that might not be my favorite thing. So I try to like avoid calling him Booby on podcasts. And here I am calling him Booby on a podcast.
It's all good, brother.
As long as he gets his movie complete, I'm sure he doesn't care what you call him.
Yeah, so we definitely got to get you guys watching to donate to this movie. I just posted the link on our page. It was on there before, but now it's like at the top of the page. And again, if you donate $5 or more, send me a screenshot, and I will enter you into a contest to win this Kane Hodder thing. It could be this graded card that's behind me right there, graded and certified, or it could be this 16 or was it 12 by 17 picture over here, or got an 8 by 10 laying around. I got all kinds of Kane Hodder stuff.
And again, I mean, the more you contribute, the better my lunches are, you know. And gluten-free pizza is more expensive than regular pizza.
It's it.
If you don't contribute, I'm going to be eating a depressing pizzeria salad while everyone else enjoys, you know, cheese and bread.
We can't have that.
Yeah. So help me out, guys. Help me out. I mean, yeah. And again, you know, I mean, whatever you buy, if you see me at a con, bring it. I'll sign it.
Right on.
So, I mean, I know it doesn't worth a heck of a lot, but hey, I'm Jason. Yeah, I'm a Jason.
You're a Jason. I got to add you to my collection. I've got almost every Jason ever, so I got to add you to my collection somehow.
Hey, yeah. I mean, granted, he directed it, but Vincent DeSanti did cons before before that even really blew up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jason.
He's a Jason. Yeah.
I just like, you know what I love? I mean, just to kind of piggyback on the whole like listen, you could love or hate Terrifier, but those guys work the cons forever, you know? And I mean, just to see them like, you know.
He loves it. I hate it.
Exactly. But I'm just saying is like.
I think you love the spirit of it.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? What went into it, how they got it together,
I think the effects are great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and when we do our year-end awards coming up, I've nominated it in a few categories. Definitely not best film, but in some categories, yeah. It's just,
I just love seeing them like work the cons, work their movie, and then watching their ship come in. You know, whether or not you feel like it deserves it. You know, I mean, Art the Clown's in Party City. You know,
yeah, and they're all great. They're all great guys. David is like real active on social media, talks to people all the time.
that's the most brutal part too, is because that guy, David Howard Thornton, the human being, I could not love him anymore.
Oh no,
Because
I mean,
we don't get deep into that stuff, but his views are like mine to a T. I'll leave it at that. But I do not like his movies.
well, it's crazy because it's like we went to Monster Mania a couple years ago, and it was me and the guys who did the Gooligans. So like Heckman was there, kind of working with Kimberly Beck, so we were able to go over and say hi to him. But it was just really the four of us, and the boy from the Terrifier movies, had like a thing called Little Punk People, and was like they were really tied in with the Gooligans for a while, like, and like, you know, would interview them, and they would do like kind of like, I guess, collaborations. Was that
Elliot Fulham?
Yeah. So they all knew him, and he was there with his parents and stuff, and they were saying hi. And like, while they were involved with him was when I was off like doing Boardwalk Empire and stuff like that. And I wasn't very active with the Gooligans. I kind of had to step away to do that stuff. So like, I didn't really know them, and I'm like, all right. Like, you know, when like you're at a party and your friend knows somebody and they're having this big reunion, and you're just like, all right, well, I'm done with this. You know, where are the chips? You know, so I kind of drifted away, and it was the end of the con. It was like the end of the day on Sunday, and I see like, you know, David over there like kind of packing his shit up, and no one's talking to him, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm never gonna get a chance to actually have a conversation with this guy like I am right now. So I just went over and said, hey, like, and I do, like, I mean, from a creature actor standpoint, you know, I mean, this guy's got like, you know, like a Buster Keaton effect with him. I mean, the fact that like he could do as much as he does with limited facial stuff, you know, it's all in his body. It's impressive, you know. So so I used it as an opportunity to kind of nerd out, and he was fucking awesome. Like, he never heard of Victim No More, but I talked a little bit about it, you know, and he's like, well, and I'm like, listen, people are reacting great, so that's all that matters, you know. And like, you know, again, like I brought it up, the only negative feedback I got was about my height, and he's like, dude, you're like an inch shorter than Kane Hodder, you know, you're not short, you know. So
right.
And he was a really cool, down-to-earth guy, you know. I mean, it was one of those things where it's like he would have kept talking to me. Like, I ended up being like, all right, my friends are going. It was good meeting you, you know.
Yeah, I met him at Screamer's costume shop in Michigan. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's freaking awesome.
It's amazing.
And they had him in, and they actually put a replica of the pizza shop inside their little store, and it looked exactly like it does in the movie. And he had a line that was wrapped around this whole shopping mall. It was thousands of people, thousands.
Oh yeah,
thousands of people waiting online. I think he stayed for everybody, but he was really cool, man. He was just awesome.
Cool fact about that pizza place, actually. So those guys are from Staten Island. I don't know what the fuck they were doing on Long Island, but that pizza place is called the Deer Hills. It's closed now. It's called the Deer Hills Pizza Place, and they called it Deer Hills because it was on the border of a town called Deer Park and a town called Dix Hills. They're both on Long Island. I grew up in Deer Park. That was the pizza place I used to get on my bike to go to as a kid to get a slice in the summertime. You know, it was like, it was my pizza place, you know. So it was like, the second I saw it, I'm like, fuck, is that Deer Hills? And then the guys wear the Deer Hills shirt. You know, I mean, it's not in Staten Island, I'll give you that much. It's in the suburbs, you know.
What were the name of those two towns again?
Deer Park and Dix Hills. So it was right on the border.
Well, at least they didn't call it Deer Dick. Anybody'd want to go eat there.
Well, it's funny too because Deer Park and Dix Hills didn't get along.
Or Dix Park.
I mean, it was like sports shit. I wasn't really a sporty guy, but they didn't really get along. You know, I was like, that's where the dicks come from. But it's funny too because fucking LL Cool J lived there. Fucking Ralph Macchio was from there, the Karate Kid. So like when we were kids, like when I was a little kid, I remember my aunt coming home and being like, I don't know if you guys have Friendlies by you, but like, wow, the Karate was that?
I used to work there.
Yeah, the Karate Kid was at Friendlies, and I was like, bullshit, Aunt Alice, and it was apparently true. You know, I mean,
well, we don't anymore, but we did for a while, and they've since closed. But I worked there when I was probably about 20 years old.
I went there when I was when I was young. I liked to go there for the ice cream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What else was there? Dee Snider from Twisted Sister lived in Dix Hills. It was like a rich town. It was a rich guy town. You know, it was a fancy pants town. I don't know if he lived there, but like Mick Foley lived in that area, and I remember bumping into him at like there was a Tower Records like not too far away, and I remember bumping into him there. So he was always fooling around. I mean, you hear everyone like you hear like the cliche everyone on Long Island has a Billy Joel story, and that's not necessarily true. But everyone on Long Island definitely has a Mick Foley story and a Dee Snider story.
Well, we're all short next to Dee Snider.
Yes.
That guy's a giant.
For a brief period of time, I was working in the Apple store, and he came in and requested to be helped in the back room. And I'm like, all right, Dee Snider, we're a little over it, man. Don't worry about it. No one's going to cry. Well, I guess, but yeah, they took him in the back room to sell him an iPhone, pretty much. He didn't want to be like out in the public.
You didn't want 800 people to want to take a picture with them and all that other stuff. Yeah.
He was nice enough.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but like he wasn't.
That's got to get old for them people anyway, though. You know, you just want to go get buy something at a store, and then you get a line of people that want to all take pictures with you, and you don't want to be a dick, so you got to do it. Just price of fame, I guess.
I would imagine too. He's in that gray area, to where he's, I'm sure he's got money, but he's not rich enough to not have to do some stuff for himself, but he's still famous enough to where he'll be mobbed. Like, that's like that weird pocket of celebrity that would kind of suck.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's like it's Long Island. I mean, you go in the city and you'll walk down the street and just like, I mean, like I walked past David Byrne in the city once, and like nobody was bothering him, I mean, but on Long Island it's a little different. People are a little more like I mean, again at the Cinema Arts Center one time, Ralph Macchio came in to see a movie, and one of my dickhead friends did the fucking crane as he walked in. And I mean, I listen, that crane made him a lot of money, and is currently making him a lot of money as we speak.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
Still, I mean,
if I was him, I'd have the best line. Like if somebody do that, I'd be like, "Oh, congratulations, you're the 31,000th person to do that in front of me."
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I could like. There's that bit with Tom Wilson who played Biff in Back to the Future. He plays that song, and he just has a prepared response for every question anyone's going to ask him about Back to the Future.
See, if I ever met him, I'd bring up Freaks and Geeks first.
Well, I would bring up April Fool's Day. I mean, I fucking love that movie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That movie was like it was Biff, and it was Biff, Amy Steele,
yep,
and Deborah Foreman. It was like the whole cast of Just One of the Guys was in there too. They snuck them all in. It was a good cast, man. It was a fun movie.
I like that Just One of the Guys. That's one of my favorite little 80s movies.
Oh yeah, man. Well, that was also like, I mean, I don't know if I'm being vulgar with this, man, but it was the first pair of tits that most people my age have seen.
Yeah,
I
did a little research. PG. I did a little research before you came on, and you and I are born the same year, so.
Oh, all right.
I figured, I probably might have been.
I'm only born a few months before that, 79.
Well, that movie again, it was in the 80s. I think it was PG or PG-13. It wasn't an R.
You're right.
Because they didn't have R yet. They didn't have R yet. That was the.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, they didn't. They had R. They didn't have PG-13 didn't exist, so it was a lot of PG-13. Like Swamp Thing was PG, and there's tits all over it.
Yeah, but the thing is that this movie was in heavy ass rotation on HBO.
Oh yeah,
and I watched a lot of HBO as a kid, and it was like I'd come home from school and and she'd be flashing her boobies to show him that he's not a boy,
Right at the end, yeah.
And again, it was that and Trading Places, Jamie Lee Curtis in Trading Places.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
That was my sexual awakening at like 8 or 9 years old. Those movies,
Jamie Lee? Jamie Lee in Trading Places.
Jamie Lee and the girl from Just One of the Guys. Yeah,
absolutely.
So it was a wild time, the 80s.
Joyce something was her name. I can't think of her last name. Pretty sure her first name was Joyce.
It sounds right. She didn't do a hell of a lot besides that.
No,
movie, that was it. And again, another movie with Billy Zabka playing the prick. Yep. He was the prick in that one.
That's it. Always.
And a Friday the 13th alumni, Ted was in that too. He was like he was the nerdy guy who was into lizards. So
Stu Charno.
Yeah.
Nice.
Also of Christine.
Nick Christine. He was in what else? What else was he in? He was in Once Bitten. I just saw that.
that's
popped
great.
out. Once Bitten
stuff.
came on the Tubi. I put it on Tubi. Yeah.
He had
Tubi's
a
phenomenal.
nice run there, and he just kind of disappeared.
Well, you know, I mean, like again, like he was that awkward teen weirdo, you know, and he milked that cow, you know. I mean, that was one of the things I was hoping Bobby would tackle in Loose Ends. That I'll spoil this. We're not figuring out what happened to Ted afterwards. We don't find out what happened to Ted. I kind of
Still at that
after
after hours place after all these years.
Unfortunately.
They weren't open till morning. They were open for an additional 45 years or whatever it's been.
Well,
he's just been there ever since.
Yeah.
I had pitched Ted as like Ted should be this guy who's like a millionaire and he funds these girls and like pays for their weapons and shit. But Bobby wasn't having it.
No.
That got vetoed. That one.
It's awesome to get that guy in there in a cameo somewhere.
But
he's Charlie,
and
then the girls are his
for the
angels.
backstory.
Oh man.
Well, we've been going for like an hour and 20 minutes, which is way over time for us.
Oh, okay.
No, it's all good, man. It was a great conversation. I want to thank you so much for coming on. And again, anybody that's listening, still the link's on the page. Indiegogo, donate at least $5. Donate more, but donate at least $5. There's all kinds of cool perks. Get a Blu-ray, get a T-shirt, get all this cool stuff. Joyce Heiser, by the way, Rob Dahl says.
There we go. I know.
I'm coming through. But nevertheless, yeah, donate to the Indiegogo campaign for Victim No More and post a screenshot that you donated on the link I shared, and we'll have a giveaway for that. Next week, we're going to be doing a Christmas episode where we're going to talk our favorite Christmas horror movies. That should be fun. And again, James, man, I want to thank you so much for coming on, and hopefully we'll meet you out at a con somewhere. And can't wait to see Loose Ends, man. And we'll probably have you back on with Bobby when that comes out, when it comes closer to coming out, because he's been on a couple times, and we love talking to him. So, and we love talking to you tonight. That was great, man. It was like, yeah, you had some cool stories, and yeah, great movies and things that you did, like especially Boardwalk Empire. Me and Ryan, like I said, giant fans of that show.
You don't have to twist my arm to talk about that one. That was a cool experience, you know, that's for sure.
Also next week, giving away the 5 man.
That's what we're going to do with it next week? Okay. Because we said when we hit 666 followers, we were going to give away a Part 5 mask. So we're going to do that. I'll post a picture tonight or something for you to enter into it, and then we'll do some randomizer thing, and it'll be beautiful. So we're going to give away Christmas presents, hopefully a couple of them. So you guys donate to this movie, donate to Eddie Langel's movie, and we're going to give away some stuff. So that'd be awesome. But again, James, thanks for the time. And we're going to get you out of here, and then we're going to get out of here, and yeah.
All right, yeah. Again, thanks for having me on. Thanks for, all your support of the film, and for helping us advertise Loose Ends, and for everybody who's watching or listening, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Blessed Yule, whatever it is you're doing, enjoy it. Have a great season. Okay.
Awesome, brother. Thank you. Have a great day, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. This is a great chat, man.
Thank you.
All righty then. All right, that was pretty fucking awesome, man. Yeah, it was pretty cool going through his IMDb. When I caught that Boardwalk Empire credit, I was like, "Oh, Ryan's gonna fucking love this."
Yeah. I did. No, just like I said, not only was he in
is your favorite
Boardwalk Empire episode, he was in the best Boardwalk Empire episode for my money.
I'd have to rewatch the series to see if I agree. It was good ones. I just watched it today. I don't know if it was the best, but I know it was good.
And again, coincidentally, a lot of loose ends were tied up in that episode. That's where the Gyp Rossetti thing came to a head. And also Richard Harrow rescuing Tommy from them and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was amazing. He was an amazing character. There's so many great characters.
He was my number one character from that show.
And Lucky was awesome. Meyer Lansky was awesome. AR was awesome. I mean, they just really nailed it with the cast.
Oh, yes. Everybody, Vincent Piazza, Michael Stolberg, just heavy hitter after heavy hitter. Even the kid playing Benny Siegel was only in
Daredevil was in it.
Perfect.
I can't remember his name. Charlie something or other. Charlie something or other, the Irish guy that was his wife was cheating on him with.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's Daredevil from Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he wasn't anybody, but went on to do big things. Yeah, I mean, I like Sopranos. I've watched the series more than I've watched any other series in my life, but Boardwalk's much better.
My thing with that and The Sopranos is so well done. I think the writing is amazing on that show. The acting is pretty fucking good on that show and amazing from some people. On that one, I never could really get behind any of those characters. I never really liked any of them. I mean, on Breaking Bad, everybody is flawed too, but to a point where it's relatable. I can't relate.
Still haven't seen that.
Oh God.
I know. I'm going to get to it.
I can't relate to a guy like Tony Soprano or Paulie Walnuts or, I can't.
Let me put our picture thingy back on for a second.
Even like Chris had a lot of depth to his character, but he did a lot of fucking awful things. I just can't like him. Like I think his character probably had the most depth, but he did some really fucked up asshole things.
Christopher?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's just an easy show to watch. I could put it on in the background and just have it on and check it out every once in a while. But Boardwalk's a far better show.
Yeah, I liked a lot of those characters, like Richard Arrow, who can't get behind him.
Yeah, no, he was the best.
Yeah, and he did some bad things too, but he did it for the right reasons.
Yeah,
like to rescue a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's good shit. I think after rewatching that episode earlier, I'm gonna start it over. That'll be my my go to sleep show for a while. Throw it on when I'm going to sleep and check it out. But
and Steve Buscemi though did direct my favorite episode of The Sopranos. So
right on.
A lot of people's favorite episode of The Sopranos.
Most people's favorite, right? Because wasn't it
Pine Barrens?
Pine Barrens, yeah, Pine Barrens.
Well,
not mine. Not my favorite episode. Great episode. Not my favorite.
Czechoslovakian. He was an interior decorator. Place looked like shit.
Oh man, great stuff. So, you got anything else you want to add before we wrap this up at an hour and a half?
No, we'll hey man, it's what we did last week again. It's better. It's better to go long than finish her.
Yes, it is. Back to the beginning of the show. All right. But yeah, so next week we're going to talk about Christmas horror movies. We'll probably talk about a couple of our favorites. Nothing real too deep.
I got
give away some Christmas presents.
I got a few pretty cool Christmas horror things.
Speaking of Christmas horrors, I went to see Black Christmas in the theater the other day.
That's a fucking great one.
Yeah, and I took Liam, Adam's stepson, whatever he is. I guess he's stepson. And
close enough at this point.
Yeah, I had an extra ticket because my wife had to work, so that's why I had an extra ticket. So my two kids were already going, and they like to hang out with him, so we took him. And I don't know if they dug it so much.
No,
too slow for them.
I could see honestly. I could see Ricky probably being bored with it.
Yeah.
Because it's a little talky and, I'm surprised Michaela didn't enjoy it.
No, I think she did like it. I'm talking the two boys. I don't think
not enough action for him.
I think so, yeah.
That seemed
kills weren't elaborate. There was only one real good kill in it with the weird glass unicorn with the horn this long. Why is it even there? Come on, man. It was there for no reason other than to kill Margot Kidder.
That seemed like a movie though that Michaela would enjoy. I would.
No, she did like it. Yeah, she did like it. They were kind of indifferent on it.
Well, I'm glad somebody did besides you.
No, it was good. They had the 4K scan of it. In the beginning of it, they also had Eli Roth did a thing in the beginning talking about Bob Clark and what Black Christmas meant to him, and I guess it was it's being distributed by I can't remember the name of the organization, but they're an organization that preserves horror films, and it's a nonprofit.
I know.
Yeah, and they talked about before the movie, they had a little thing about it. So it was really cool. It's definitely worth going.
It was so good. Imagine if Bob Clark would have just done another Christmas movie.
Yeah. Well, he did that.
Not a horror movie, but still a great fucking movie. So.
Yeah, they were talking about how he basically started like 3 genres, with the slasher genre, because this was before Halloween, and the family Christmas movie with Christmas Story, and then the sexual college college comedy with Porky's.
Porky's, yep.
Yep. And so
his filmography
all over the place.
His filmography is brief, but it's very, very, very solid.
Yeah, no, good stuff and very diverse stuff.
Yeah.
he was not pigeonholed into anything.
Oh.
He was all over the map.
It's like, did you see that World War II movie Bob Clark was direct? Like, that wouldn't surprise
right. It wouldn't surprise anybody. No, absolutely not. But speaking of other movies I went to see Y2K. I went to see Y2K. I know we're going to get off here, but I might as well just talk about this for a second. But yeah, I went to see Y2K because the DCS guys were reviewing it on Monday. So there was 3 horror movies that came out the other day. I think one was called Getaway. One was Y2K and Werewolves. And Werewolves out of the 3 was the one I wanted to see the most. But I chose Y2K because the DCS guys were reviewing it. And the first 30 minutes of this film is like your average teen comedy. I was like, somebody lied to me. It's not even a horror movie. This is a fucking 10 Things I Hate About You, and a bad version of it. And then they had all the 90s cliches that, just, people didn't really act like this. I was there. I lived it. Like we didn't really say all this dumb shit. We didn't really act like this. So they didn't even get that right. I texted Zigzag half hour into the movie. I said, am I in the right fucking movie? What's going on here? This is pretty fucking... This isn't bad. He says, well, don't worry. It gets worse. He wasn't wrong. So then the movie, all of a sudden, people start to die over 30 minutes into the movie. It starts to get into the horror aspect at Y2K, 12 o'clock, all the machines go crazy and try to kill us. That's what's going on in this movie. And there's some okay kills, I guess. And it starts to turn from 10 Things I Hate About You to the This Is the End movie, and not a good version of that, which I like. This Is the End. I mean, it had all them comedians. It was funny.
I like that movie.
It wasn't funny. It was trying to be a horror comedy, but it really wasn't funny.
So
it's not good.
So is it safe to say that you will never, ever see Y2K again?
Not a chance in hell. Why did I think of that connection when I was, oh God, yeah, it would have been fucking hilarious. I didn't even catch where you were going until it took me a minute. It took me a minute to get it. Yes. I did say I'll never see it again, but I wonder if Ziggy thought that's what I was going for when I said it, because I wasn't. I did say that to him, though. I said, yeah, I'll never do this again.
Save us!
Could have saved me for that movie. It wasn't as bad as The Crow, though. It wasn't it wasn't like an all-time horrible movie. It really wasn't. It just wasn't good. Like,
well, in a few weeks from now, we will determine what the worst movie of the year was. But, for now, we'll have to keep that.
Yeah. So in 2-3 weeks, a week or two after the first, it's going to be after the first we do our year in review movie, because we want to see Nosferatu on Christmas for sure, to see where that stacks up into the equation. And I want you guys that are listening, probably nobody's still listening now because it's almost 2 hours into the show. But if you are still listening, comment your comments in the comments on the page and let us know what you thought the best movie of the year was. Who you thought was the best actor, the best character. Because for that, like JP brought up the cat from what's the movie? You really liked it. The one without the quiet place.
Quiet Place is the one. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that was a great nomination for that. The character for best character, it was the cat in that movie, and the old lady in the front room.
Yeah,
she belongs in that category. I don't think that movie will win any other awards, but
Movie most likely to be shown on UPN.
Just because of what you should. It's not bad, man. It's just I don't. Can a horror movie be a horror movie where nobody's getting killed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like there's only one death in the whole movie, and it wasn't a gruesome death.
Never Hike Alone, Part 1, body count 0.
Nobody died in that. Right on. Okay.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of the way he made that is you don't even really realize that.
Yeah. Okay. But no, I recommend you watch The Front Room. I don't recommend you pay for it.
No.
It's not bad. It's a pretty decent movie.
We're in mid-December and these awards are coming up. I'm done paying for movies except for Nosferatu. I'll pay to go see that. My top 5 of the year are pretty solidified though.
Yeah, we discussed that. Our top 5s are almost identical.
Yeah,
I have one you don't. You have one that I don't.
You have one super high that I just missed my 5 and I had it 6.
Right. I think the one that you have that I don't is like 6 or 7 too.
It is like razor thin margin on that too.
Yeah.
There was just one thing about the 5th one I couldn't drop it any lower.
Yeah.
But we'll put ours together and again, we'll come up with our nominees.
Yeah.
And we'll list the nominees and people can talk about them, vote on them or whatever, but we're not going to say what order we rank them in until we.
Yeah. And then we'll put it out there and get some feedback from the fans, the listeners, and
yeah, we've only discussed Best Picture so far, but I think I could get my actors and actresses to you tonight because I've been working on them.
Yeah. For me, it's probably out of like 2, and neither one you'd call genre actors.
Mm-hmm.
So. But for the best actor, I think I'm down to 2, maybe 3, and I have no idea which one I'll pick.
Remember, both genders have 2 categories though, because they were supporting as well.
Yeah. Best supporting actor, best supporting actress, best supporting actor. So I'm more. I have the actors. I have the three top actors for me is
Don't say who.
Don't say. Okay, I won't say it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, for me. The actress category was pretty easy. Actor was a little tougher. The men were a little tougher. It was a little closer for me. For the lead. For supporting.
The winners, I have 2 or 3 girls. I have 2 or 3 guys, and they're really. It's going to probably come down to what you think and what the fans think and where I move, what we decide on because I'm so close on all 3 of them.
Yeah, for actress, I have 1 for sure.
Supporting actress, I got 1.
Me too.
It's the same one. I got. Yeah, I could come up with some nominees, but I'm pretty sure that the winner's safe, or at least on my end.
Actress.
Yeah.
The same film. One of the nominees, at least for supporting actor, will be in there too. If that helps.
Yeah. It's probably not the same movie I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay. Well,
but I agree. I just don't think you're talking about the same guy. There's an actor in this movie that would be nominated. He won't win, but he'll be nominated.
Yeah. Okay.
It's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be real fun. So yeah, join us next week for the Christmas episode. Week after that, don't know for sure. Then the week after that, maybe even the week after that, then we're gonna do his year-end show. Watch the page for that. Donate money to Eddie Langel's movie. It's called The Yule Log. Donate money to what's up?
Isn't New Year's Day a Thursday?
It is.
Do you want to do it then or on the 8th for the awards?
I'm not sure. We'll discuss that and figure it out, but one or the other.
Definitely don't want to go past the 8th though.
No, I don't think so either.
I wouldn't even mind doing it on the 1st if we don't have anything else planned.
Yeah, I don't do anything.
New Year's Eve, I don't do anything anymore either.
I ain't staying up all night for what?
Yeah. On a Wednesday night? Yeah, why?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't go to parties, none of that stuff. Oh, somebody just commented. I'm just late. Just wanted to let you know, Ryan, they was testing Top Thrill 2. Yes, he's definitely interested in that. But right on.
Oh, that makes me happy.
And on that note, we're going to get the fuck out of here. You want to add anything?
Man, I'm hungry.
Right on.
And until next week, everybody, thanks for tuning in. And there goes the neighborhood.